The Quran describes the various embryological stages in great detail. The Quran mentions in Surah Mu'minun, chapter number 23, verse number 12 to 14, that we have created the human being from a quintessence of clay, then made it into a nutfah, a minute quantity of liquid, then made the nutfah into alaqa, a leech-like substance, then made the alaqa into mudga, that's a chewed-like lump, then made the mudga into izama, bones, then clothed the bones with lahem, that is flesh, and then we made a different creature. Glory be to Allah, who's the best to create. These three verses of the Quran describe the various embryological stages, the initial stages of development of a human being in the mother's womb in great detail. First it says that it made it from a nutfah, which we discussed, a minute quantity of liquid, then made the nutfah into alaqa. That means a leech-like substance, which we discussed earlier. The meaning of the Arabic word alaqa, it has got three meanings. One is a leech-like substance. It also means something which clings. And the third meaning of alaqa is congealed clot of blood. Besides it looking like a leech, the embryo in the initial stages, it also behaves like a leech, it behaves like a bloodsucker, it derives its nutrition from the mother through the placenta. It behaves like a bloodsucker. So besides looking like a leech, it also behaves like a leech. The second meaning, something which clings, we know that the embryo clings to the uterine wall. Throughout the 9 months that the fetus is in the womb of the mother, it clings to the uterine wall. The third meaning of alaqa is congealed clot of blood. And today's science tells us that in the initial stages, the blood does not circulate. And the blood clots in the vessels, and it appears like a congealed clot of blood. So all three meanings of alaqa, alhamdulillah, today's science says, is in perfect conformity to latest advances made in embryology. It further says, we placed it in a qararim makin, a place of security. And we know today that the fetus is protected posteriorly by the spinal column, the backbone, as well as the posterior muscles. And anteriorly, it is protected by the anterior abdominal wall, by the amniochorionic membrane, as well as the amniotic fluid, which protects the child. So the science today testifies that the child is well protected in the womb of the mother. It further says, we made the alaqa into a mudga. A mudga means a chewed-like lump. So Professor Keith Moore took a plasticine and made it look into a leech-like substance, initial stage of embryo, and then placed it between his teeth. He bit it to make it appear like a mudga, a chewed-like lump. And when he saw it, the teeth marks, it resembled the somites from where the nerves develop. And the Quran continues, we made the mudga into izama, bones, then clothed the bones with lahem, that is flesh. Then we made it altogether a different creature. So what does the Quran mean that we made it into altogether different creature? Till this stage of mudga, izama, lahem, chewed-like lump, bones, flesh, till this stage, today science tells us the initial stages of development of a human being is similar to the development of a fish, rabbit, and many other animals. Only after this stage does the human development differ in looks, where we have a head, then we have limbs. Then the Quran says, we made it into a different creature. Glory be to Allah, who's the best to create. Imagine, the Quran describes the various embryological stages in great detail. And Professor Keith Moore, he said that this description given in the Quran, based on shapes, alaqa, leech-like substance, mudga, chewed-like lump, izama, bones, laham, flesh, is far superior to the divisions made in modern embryology, where we say stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. It's difficult to identify. The description given in the Quran is far more superior and much more easy. And previously, the scientists, they thought it was in the 16th and 17th century when scientists like Swammerdam, they thought that the sperm contained the miniature human being. The head of the sperm contained the miniature human being, and then it grew in the womb of the mother. Later on, when they came to know that the size of the ovum is bigger than the sperm. D. Graffe, he said that the human being is present in the ovum and not the sperm. Later on in 18th century, Maupertuis, he propounded the biparental theory, that both the ovum and the sperm is responsible for the creation of the human being. They fertilize, they form the zygote, which the Quran has described in great detail.